Okay, I'm ready. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Thomas from Tauology. It is 9:07 in Arizona, so it's morning my time. What's up, what's going on? So the topic today will be industry plants. So I always find it very funny when artists will go on a tangent about how other artists get put on and so on and so forth. And the topic of industry plant will always come up. So when they usually say that, somebody will say, "Hey, give an example of an industry plant," and they would say, "Oh, I won't put nobody on blast," and it's like, then why did you bring it up in a way? Because like you have all this animosity, you have all this anger, and then it's like, yo, like so who is it? Just like, no, I don't want to say nothing about it. It's all good, and it's like, just say what you gonna say. Granted, I do respect people. That's like, if you ain't trying to have that beef or that issue with that person, don't say no names. That's how fast being 100. But if you gonna have such emotional content about what other person is doing and their success, and you're not, you kind of should say something. You kind of should say something about it. But hey, to each his own. More respect out of most people. So, right here. It's funny how I have a script and I didn't read it before I read it. I didn't read it before I did this video, so it's like funny. Alright, so I guess you can give a few examples of how not to be an industry plant. Cause I don't know what an industry plant is. I may have an idea of what an industry plant is, but as far as saying you and that person are industry plants, that's not me. Cause I have no idea. I'm not in that background. I'm not in that lifestyle. I have no idea. I'm so a vlogger doing this shit on an iPhone and a laptop and my apartment. Just so you know, everything on that side is like hella dirty, but everything right here, they want. So, so examples of not being an industry plant. So you have Desiigner. Desiigner was doing his thing, doing his hustle, and then he had his song Panda, Panda, Panda. And when he did that, it caught Kanye West's ear. And I want to say Pusha T's first, but I want to say it caught Kanye West's ear. And he was like, I want that. I want that song. I want to use it for Life of Pablo, which is one of the best songs out, one of the best albums out this year or last year. I want to say it was last year. This is December, so I want to say last year. And so when that album had dropped and that song came along with it, it put Desiigner on. But Desiigner had did his work and did his job before any industry had saw him, as far as I know. Before industry, any label had seen him and tried to put him in the face of most people. And then from there, it was like he kept building. Well, he didn't keep building. He had one song outlet that I know about, and he had a mixtape with Timmy Turner. He reaching for a burner, kill it by walking, and so on and so forth. And so majority of the time, an industry plant is somebody that somehow works with a label, and then do all their due diligence as far as mixtapes, creating a buzz on their own, and so on and so forth. Industry plants usually find somebody and they're like, "Oh, we want you to be the face of this song or album or whatever it may be," and they see they have any talents. If they don't, they have people that write hits or write songs for that person, and figure out how they can monetize off that person. And that's basically their idea. They keep pushing one person. They keep pushing to the point where you cannot escape from that person in any way, shape, or form. They're all over the radio. They're all over advertising. They are there. Now, some artists charismatically have that advantage, like just on their own. Like Lil Uzi, he definitely has that for himself. He makes hits on his own. He's had three mixtapes that we know about, and he's definitely done his work. In I want to say he's from Philly. Yeah, he's from Philly. Another example of that is Currency and Future. Future, I'm speaking Currency first because he's one of my favorite artists. Currency definitely was on tip of like he was making a mixtape every month. Every month, like when I first heard of Currency, I was on it was on the Smokey Robinson mixtape where he would what man do? He dropped the mixtape every month. And Smokey Robinson came out around the same time as the Super Bowl. That's when the Saints was in the Super Bowl, and I heard mixtape and I was like, "Oh, this shit's fire." And then I went to Dat Piff. Shout out to Dat Piff. And I realized that he had so much more to his back storage that like were like it was ridiculous. And so from there, I had a plethora of music to listen to. But he already had a buzz from 106 in Park. For those that people that don't know, he was in a freestyle battle. and he was a champ. Like he won the Hall of Fame. But he had all this music, and he had more music coming in the future, and he never went mainstream. He never made it where he had to sign a label and be out in the forefront. I think he signed Rockefeller, but I was like, he was still, for him, it was still underground. Same thing with Future. Future was on the tip of like, ain't nobody trying to fuck with me. I got Esco. We just gonna keep putting out this music, and every month they was doing that. Then he called Trashing. 56 Nights got big. What's that song? March Madness. March Madness got major play in Atlanta and outside of Atlanta. Like that was one of his biggest hits, but he still had more hits coming, and he had so much more work. Those two definitely are not industry plants because they put in the work. They built their identity in the internet and also in their hometown. Like I'm pretty sure Future has thousands of stories of how he worked with other people in his city. He grew that fan base. He grew everything that he needed to do to push himself out of the stratosphere as far as him going outside of Atlanta. So once people heard about him, it's like, oh, who is this? Oh, the Future. And you can see all the work that he has done to get to where he's at now and still going forward. I mean, Future is like one of the best artists. Most artists will tell you that. Like, he's real influential, especially during that time period. But even from some other artists, is you work with somebody, let's say, I'm trying to think of an artist that we know. Or, a regular example, sometimes you have one artist that is in the forefront, like Wiz Khalifa. You work with Wiz Khalifa. Let's say you're an underground artist or you're an unknown artist to most people, and you've been working, and somehow some artists like Wiz Khalifa or most people, they hear about you. And it's like, Wiz Khalifa say, I like his music, I like his sound, I kind of have a song I want him to fuck with, I want to fuck with him on the song, whatever. And that's a lot of times how people get on. You say a hot verse on somebody else's album, and it's like, yo, like who is this person? And you listen to that person after a while, and that's how like most people get that's why features exist. That's why it's so important. Features and remixes. Like Dave East, I heard Dave East before I knew that he had mixtapes and albums. I heard him feature on a couple of songs here and there, and he caught my attention, but I wasn't really paying attention to who the artist was. But when I did hear that he was dropping a mixtape or an album, I was like, oh, Dave East. Or when I had somebody on Twitter saying, oh, have you heard Dave East? Like, oh, that name ring a bell. I was like thinking about looking into him. So once I get that cosign from somebody else that I respect, I go ahead and listen to that artist. We all do that. We all have that one friend that is so heavy in certain genre of music that if they say, hey, this person right here is kind of dope, have you listened to him? Majority of times like yes or no. Because I don't see how I got put on to Lil Uzi. I had one friend at my old job, and he was like, have you heard Lil Uzi? I was like, nah, that name sounds kind of like weird though. And he was like, oh, it's just fire. And I was like, I listened to it. I didn't listen to it then. Then I had another person say, hey, you heard Lil Uzi? And I was like, nah, but you like the third person that told me Lil Uzi is kind of like dope though. Let me see what he's about. And from there, I'm pretty sure it's a rap for most people. Like, Lil Uzi mixtapes are gold. Even his album is pretty much gold. It's a good album. So that's really how it is in industry plant versus non-industry plant. But however you get put on to make music, that's the best way. But at the same time, the music that you make should have quality and substance to it. I don't care if you're an industry plant. As long as you are out here making good music and you're not being fake for the culture, just trying to get in and out, temporarily in and out, just like trying to fuck shit up, like you're good. Yeah, some people that try to come into the game and they come in just for the money aspect, where some people just like, I want to get this stuff out. And if I read the benefits of having money to come along with it, then so be it. But what do you think about industry plants? Do you know who are industry plants? I want to hear it, because I'm real curious about who is and who isn't industry plants, especially this day and age where everything that the label does is getting way out of hand. That's dumb. Scratch that. Labels don't really know what they're doing, so they're signing people for Instagram and Twitter and people that are already like halfway famous and using them to push them forward. And labels do that a lot with other artists. But who do you think is an industry plant? Do you think I'm wrong? Should I shut the fuck up? Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye.